We're gonna wait on the approval for previous meeting minutes. We'll get that next time. I do have a question. Did we actually approve, Andy, for you to buy sandwiches and stuff for the Houghton last time?
Yes, we did.
I thought we did.
Yeah, we said $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
200.
Was it 200?
I think $200.
Okay.
Is it in the minutes?
Yeah. Yep. It's in the minutes.
Okay.
Motion made to purchase sandwiches and beverages not to exceed $200.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember that, so, thank you for clarifying that.
I need receipts to pay.
We do need receipts today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jim Gallagher plaque. You talked with the family, everything was good.
Yep.
So next steps is just reaching out and getting it made?
Next step is sending it off to him, getting it made. I think, I think I recall, it wasn't a huge turnaround time, but it's, 11 weeks or something like that, I believe.
Do we have a quote? Or did you send?
No, I didn't get an actual quote, no.
Okay.
I got a ballpark of between 11 and 13. So we had set it up at our last meeting not to exceed $1,300.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt to have a quote anyway,
Yeah.
just to.
No, I agree. I will send him the proof, and then he can give me an actual quote, and then we'll.
Oh, you haven't sent proof in yet?
Well, I'm sorry, he sent me the picture that I was showing you.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that we.
So that's the proof.
Okay, yes.
I don't know if you saw this
Yeah,
in
I
person.
did.
You
So
did?
he sent that to you to say yes?
Yes.
You haven't sent it back to him?
No, I did
When you
not.
send it back to him, he'll give you a quote.
Right,
He'll
okay.
give you the price.
The actual, yeah, okay.
That's what happened with that big thing in the wall over there.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Mm-hmm.
Buddy Andy.
All right. And then, so the Civil War marker, Andy?
Yes.
Any updates? What do you need?
Okay, I had confirmation with Carmen the other night. He has color guide for me. He has at least 3, maybe 4 M1 Garand firing squad. I have to finalize with high school with regard to the 2 buglers. I had to make sure that I had to wait till April till they get it on their docket, so that I can talk to Mr. Trombley to get the 2 buglers. If I cannot get 2 live buglers, this association has a taps on electronics, so they can play the original taps and then the recall taps.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a backup on that. We're all set with the we have Saturday morning, May 3rd at the cemetery at 11 o'clock. We have Carmen's room where you had your comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
We have that room set up for the luncheon afterwards. The last thing I have to do is invitations. Okay, it's not on your list here, but I have request. I have, do we send everybody an email? That's kind of crass way of an invitation. It's fast, it's good with regard to content. I'd rather send personal invitation to the people that I'm inviting, and I have a list of people I'd like to invite, but I want you guys to edit this accordingly, listen to what I have, and if I've missed anybody, I can add it, okay? Basically, State Senator Moore, State Rep Meridian, I have the Grafton Town Administrator and Select Board, I have Grafton Historical Society, I have American Legion Post 92, VFW Post 1497, Grafton Veterans Agent. I have some individuals that I spoke to along the way and said we'd like to have an invitation. One is Bill Hanley that has come here. Another guy's Jim Hood that has helped my wife and I with the flags for the last 15 years. He's kind of a Civil War buff. John Anderson, his son did a Eagle Scout process for me, categorizing graves. So he says, yeah, I'd like an invitation to go. I need to send an invitation to Mr. Cummings, the school superintendent, saying basically, I don't wanna invite the whole school, but if there's anybody that is Civil War oriented, they're very welcome. I can't send them individual invitations, cause I don't know who they are. Okay, I have, cemetery commissioners, including Mr. Roberts over here, Roger Courier, who has helped me immeasurably trying to get information on Mr. Houghton, and the Boy and Girl Scouts that have come graciously to everything else that we put on. And there are next proposed members of this committee. I mean, they're all growing up, they're all involved with town stuff, especially with stuff concerning the Veterans Day, Memorial Day. Why not? Okay, so I'll send an invitation blanket to Boy and Girl Scouts, and so that's that. I'm in the process of putting together the program itself. I have this is the program. Unfortunately, I only have one copy of it. Okay, this is the program, the actual program that they are going to do. Just pass it around if you can. And this thing right here is what they basically told me I can make my the wording for my invitation. Basically, it's Josiah Warren Houghton, born July 10, 1835, enlisted 1862 in New York Heavy Artillery. Was wounded, and he returned to Grafton. Died in 1908. Was buried at Pine Grove Cemetery in Grafton in an unmarked grave since. Okay, so basically, I did some printing before I left. This is what the grave looked like before. Okay, it was just a marker in a field.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a beautiful white marble headstone, and that's the deal. This is his report of the Adjutant General of the State of New York, Warren J. Warren Houghton, 26, enlisted in Albany, mustered as a private, and wounded at Cold Harbor, Virginia, and mustered out in 1865, Albany, New York, and he was originally from Grafton. Okay, let's see. I've got all of his muster information that I needed to get the headstone with. This is the application for the headstone. And I've got more documentation here about this guy than I have for most other veterans in town. But this, because I'm a history nut, I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. So this is finally coming to fruition. Okay. So I will develop from all of this documentation a blanket invitation that I will put handwritten the person's name on the top of each one and send. I would like to do this if you guys would pay the postage.
I would, okay, I was just gonna say, once you get the letters written.
Yep.
We get town, I don't know if you wanna put it on town
letterhead.
letterhead with town envelopes and have it mailed through the clerk's office or
Well,
DA's office.
it's through the town, but it really is our committee, so do we have a letterhead, official letterhead?
No.
If I was gonna make the letterhead, I would use the town seal and
Can
just,
we-
and just
can
put the
we
name of the committee at the top.
Kinda like what's on the top of that, Town of Grafton, this with the invitation? Not,
Like the
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
not the agenda, but this
Yes,
is-
yes, so you have
Yeah.
the town seal,
Yeah,
the town heading,
yes,
and then below it says trustees of soldiers and
Yes.
sailors
Yeah.
and memorials, and then your letter.
And then
Yeah.
the letter, yeah.
Yeah, we can just get like Sean suggests, we get the clerk
Right.
to
They
mail it off
they
for
have
us.
a background for this that, it's, like a Civil War canon and a whole bunch of other stuff, and we just fill in the words, they'll print it for me,
Okay,
okay? I wanna get them to commit to, putting everything on that, invitation except for the name
Yeah.
who I'm gonna send it. I'll
Right.
handwrite that, and so it's personalized, and that becomes a memento to them if they wanna keep it.
are they going to email you the,
RSVP. I'd like to have an RSVP. I'd like to have an RSVP so I can figure out for the meal
Yeah.
afterwards.
Well, but the invitation, so they're gonna print the invitations and mail them to you, or they're gonna email you the
I'm gonna pick
invitation
him
and
up,
you'll
I'm gonna
print
meet
them
the
out?
guy, it should be library, they're gonna
Okay.
print it, I'll meet him halfway, he lives in Hudson, so I'll meet him up there and get all these invitations. I'll have, envelopes accordingly,
If-
and, mail them that night.
Okay, if I can get a blank form of it, cause what I would also like to do is, and this doesn't need to be, handwritten like that, but I can work with Cindy and have her send it out to all the other committees as well.
Oh, yeah.
We normally do that, and
Yeah.
that could just be an email, but at least I can take the invitation that they made and scan it and just, she can send it out to all the committee
But
heads.
there will be an RSVP at the bottom of it, with a phone number for me or something, so that I can tally up who's coming.
Yeah.
And, try to plan on what we need for food,
Okay,
okay?
And Cindy or Amber could help you with the letterhead,
Yep.
yeah,
all the formatting, and we'll be good to go.
all right. Anything else?
No, I think that basically has it.
Okay. Any questions from anyone? All right. Hillcrest Cemetery. I got a great update from Jeff that we've got other people gonna put a contractor together and go out there and clean it. So it is nice. You're part of that conversation, correct?
On the outskirts of it. I mean, it's pretty much Justin's taken it. Jeff's taken it and pretty much ran with it ever since he got another contact with the state.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty much the ball's in motion right now, and it's looking promising.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you raise enough flags, then something happens.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns with any of this? Let me rephrase this actually, and I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk to Jeff. I want Jeff to make sure that you're included in this, because I know that you have, at least information wise, like you need to be CC'd on the emails, because I know that of the concerns we talked about last time. I'm assuming that they would hire somebody that has cleaned old cemeteries before. But that's a big assumption on my part.
That is
Yeah.
a big assumption.
Yeah,
So
you don't
that's-
wanna
Yeah. So that's my thinking, is that you and the Shrewsbury cemeteries people should be at least involved in the emails to know that this is happening. And then if something doesn't seem right to you, you can at least just pipe up.
We'll have to reach out to Shrewsbury and see if we can coordinate that. Definitely.
So,
Yeah, because you're right, you don't want them going in there with a John Deere and all of a sudden.
Right, yeah,
Oh, no.
and then the monument gets totaled, and here we are right before Memorial Day, like, trying to figure out what to do.
Side note, I was on Riverland Street, in Millbury, and they have a cannon at the
Oh, yeah.
Riverland and, or whatever, I forget the other name of it. Someone must have just went straight
Yeah.
instead of turning, and cannon's all
Pieces.
broken.
The car
That's what
was
it was.
upside down or something after, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then over in North Grafton, Quincy Corner, that just got hit again.
Oh, no.
Again?
Really?
Yeah,
Missed the monument somehow. It always misses that monument, but
Where's Quincy?
just again.
I was just there.
Huh?
Near me.
Yeah, the whole
big
122
turn.
side's down. There's a big tire gouge going in from the.
Oh, the way I go-
122, 146
that
branch off.
That place?
Yeah, everybody, there's a lot of people that just hit that little triangle. Well, you remember when they, after the grandstand got redone, and then like,
The next day?
yeah, the next day, somebody just plowed through, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. And that person, they,
I thought the hardest thing with that
they
thing
were
was people
permit,
stop
they
at
only have permit.
the right time.
Oh,
And I have to
last
honk
one.
them.
Yes,
Almost rear-ended so many people because it's just like, go, but they don't realize it and they stop.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty brutal. All right, so last time we talked old cemetery signage, this is the, plaques to highlight who all was buried there. We wanted to reach out to, the Nipmuc tribe as well, and, maybe bring in the Historical Society. I'll be honest, I haven't moved forward with a lot of this besides just keeping it on here for right now. I feel like we've got a lot going on with Jim Gallagher's plaque, the Civil War marker, Memorial Day parade, trying to get the Hillcrest Cemetery cleaned
Well,
up.
it took 2.5, almost 3 years to get the flagpole, so I'm not worried about it, but I do.
But we
I
got
do
the
wanna-
flagpole.
Yeah, we found the flagpoles.
So yes,
And, on Hillcrest, before you close that thing totally, did we say we were gonna get a flagpole, or who was gonna get the flagpole for that cemetery?
we have not talked about the flagpole yet. Right now, it's just let's get somebody out there to clean
That was
it.
on the bottom of that, on the back of one of these things.
Yeah,
One of the items was the flagpole, I think.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, it was requested, I think by Carmen, that we replace the flagpole at cemetery. But whether we do or the town does,
I thought that was. Oh yeah, okay.
just to stay on the same subject with it.
Yeah,
But Jim and I talked initially about getting the flagpoles and flagpole, and we ended up getting 2. The thing with the signage was, the Boy Scout that did the categorizing and developed the plan of who's buried there and all of their ancillary information, I've got recorded. He requested the sign and the flagpoles. I said, well, I told his father, I said, we got the beautiful flagpole, take a picture and send it up to your son in college, tell him that part's done.
yeah.
But as far as the sign, all the other cemeteries, in fact, the brand new sign down Fairview Cemetery is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I just did all the cemetery rules and regulation signs were all just replaced.
Okay.
So, yep.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for something similar, not, we don't have to go crazy about it, but the fact that it's the first cemetery in town of Grafton, the fact that it was there before town incorporated in 1735. I wanted to make note of the one guy, Luke Drury, that, had 89 different things. He was in like 5 different wars. He was a selectman town of Grafton, all kinds of stuff, and one of the original 40 that purchased the town from Sutton itself. I kinda like to identify in a little blurb on that sign his accomplishments. Other than that, the old cemetery, and there was a question about what do we name it? Well,
Yeah.
okay, we fought over that, or discussed over that. I still contend that the town, the original town fathers named it the old cemetery. Why would we name it different?
I'm with you.
Okay?
I want to bring in the historical society with that, have them help. I said I feel like with between what we've got going on in May, it's going to be a pretty busy month. So we can pick this up right after all that stuff.
Yeah.
Over the summer.
The other piece of that, we're responsible for veteran-related monuments and such as that. This is a town cemetery, so you're
It
right,
is.
we have to have
Yeah.
the historical society involved.
Yeah, and this is, and I've thought about that, this is one of those things where to me, it's kind of borderline, does it fall under us or not? But,
Right,
I mean,
it's okay for us to
We
spearhead the whole thing.
we can propose it to the town.
I don't
Do
mind
all the
taking this
research, Do the
on.
proposal and let them handle it.
Is
That's
that
basically what
in-
happened with the flagpoles.
Is that in their charge? Is that in their, is that in their wheelhouse, so to speak?
What, you mean,
What?
historical
That's in
society?
your bag, right?
Yeah, as long as with the cemetery commissioners, yes, we haven't really dealt with the historical society all too often. They've had events in some of our cemeteries and things in the past,
Yeah.
like History Day and things like that, but, as far as like oversight and communication, they're
So it's
really
more,
isn't
it's
too
more of
much.
a courtesy than a
Yeah.
mandate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'm good if we run this project, but have them provide us the information, and then we review the information and go, hey, to your point, Andy, hey, there's a couple of other things we wanna highlight. But I just wanna make sure that we're, like I said, that we've got full bandwidth with a bunch of other stuff that we've got going on right now, so. Any other questions on that signage? Comments? Dedications, Lucas, once again, this is just to keep us on.
Yeah.
So.
Wait till after Memorial Day and 4th
yeah.
of July. And
Yep. Memorial planning process, so I reached out to Jeff and was asking him how some of the other towns have done this. I'm just curious, like, hey, how do they reach out to their they're newer veterans, you know, was it posted on the town website or something? He has not gotten back with me yet, but I'm gonna follow up. I reached out a couple of weeks ago. He said that he had to reach out to his contacts and wait for them to provide some information. So, not much has changed with this one yet either. And historical markers. Once again, I think this is something that we just keep it on the agenda so we can continue to talk about it, but I don't think there's any movement unless you've got
There's
any.
not a lot that we can do immediately, but I really don't think we've identified more than one location so far.
Yeah,
I mean, we were talking about Airport Road, but I think if we spoke to somebody from the Historical Society, got an idea what other events may have taken place in town, we could build a list, so.
well,
Yeah, if you don't wanna keep it on as a placeholder, that's cool.
I do. I think actually what I'm gonna do is I usually try to get my agendas made ahead of time, and then I can take them off of this, but I just haven't had a chance yet. But that kind of brings up something, maybe we should look at this differently, and maybe the agenda item should be work with Historical Society, and then we have the different topics, like the old cemetery signage, these historic markers, and then try to make it more of a kind of collaborative effort, and so it's not just us taking on all of this stuff.
Right, but I had the thought that after I proposed the idea, that it's not really necessarily a memorial per se.
Right.
It's more of just a historic event marker. So, I mean, I don't know if the Historical Society even has a budget, but I mean, maybe if they wanted to participate, we could get them to split whatever we do, but
Yeah.
I would be
we
happy.
don't know what we don't know so far.
Right, exactly, yeah. And I mean, some of these things, I don't think we have to break our bank or our budget on
Yeah.
it. But if they're willing to do a lot of the work,
Mm.
you know.
Researching
then-
the items and all that.
Yeah, you know, get like all those little nitty gritty details and stuff, and then,
Yeah, like in the Civil War, the troops that fought for the Union, where did they muster in Grafton? Did they
Yeah.
muster in Grafton, you know, that kind of thing.
give Andy a break.
Well, they I don't know where they mustered, but they actually signed up where Fisher's Mill used to be.
There you go,
Yeah.
Okay.
stuff like that. Yeah.
And, a lot of places we ride around, the state of Massachusetts has these beautiful big cast iron signs that tell about, Mr. Booker and Mr. Washington and
Yeah.
everybody else, okay? But we have one of those signs where, at that little cemetery on the right-hand side of Providence Road coming down, isn't there one of those big cast iron things around it? It's somewhere, I've seen it.
I don't believe in the cemeteries. I mean, we have the old Farmsville Cemetery sign down there, but that's not cast iron, that's made out of wood.
This is made of cast iron. It says something about this cemetery. Yeah, I think it's that little Indian cemetery on the right-hand side. But anyways, a lot of, and the state does that. I mean, the towns make up the wording, and the state says, yeah, we'll make the sign, and they erect it, and everybody rides around, and now they know what happened in this one little spot.
Right.
Okay, a lot of people say, whoa, what happened? Like, there's a picture of a guy and a horse up there, up next to the common. Anybody know who he is, what he did, or whatever? Is in the military involved? Who knows?
Hmm.
You know, if you're involved in Grafton Historical, they'll tell you, but otherwise, who do you ask?
Right.
So I think that the Historical Society doesn't have a budget through the town, it's just funded through people like me who are members.
Through their donations.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then, but the Historical Commission would be through the town, you might wanna even reach out to both, but I know this
Yeah.
Historical Society, I mean, Nancy's great at
Yeah.
finding all sorts of stuff, but if you wanted money, maybe on the other side, and then use her for the resource of all the info she has over there.
Well, and I've talked with the historical committee before for some 4th of July stuff, and they seemed interested in kind of expanding some of the stuff that they did.
Mm.
So I think that they would be willing to partner with us, and I'd like to bring them both in.
Yeah, that's right.
But, yeah, just, you know, kind of share that burden.
Mm-hmm.
Cause then I was thinking, you know, to tie this into creating the maps and memorials and cemeteries and things like that, cause then I was also thinking about, using the historical committee for that as well. And then you have one map that you can do it all. And what was that program that you mentioned
Okay,
last
the town
time?
has something called GIS.
Mhm.
GIS.
Okay, and it has, GPS locations of, the four corners of town of Grafton, and, four corners of, around most of, the important things in town of Grafton. It does have our 5 cemeteries boxed off, and what it looks like is a combination of several 100,000 pictures from satellite looking down over these 4 points and identifying everything in the circle. Okay, or square or rectangle, whatever the hell it comes out to. But this is the town of Grafton, and
Yeah.
this is what's important, and it can actually drill down to a level where it's like a 50-foot square. It's pretty good.
So, have y'all heard of it?
Yeah.
Are y'all familiar with it?
Yeah.
Can we add information to it?
They asked me
I think so,
specific
right? Yeah.
information for all the graves that I have.
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about last time, because I'd like to take Andy's info and like put it into the cemeteries, like where they're located, you know,
Yeah.
so then you go and you click on the map and it shows you, pulls it up, and then you've got all of the information Andy has.
Three of these five cemeteries I have were, laid out with using, GPS from, most GPS is triangulated, which is 3 satellites. When you have an artillery officer, son doing the GPS for you, 3 of the 5 are dedicated to 5 satellites, so that the identification of the grave is within 15 feet. Pretty good from way up there.
Yeah.
Who's
Do
the,
you want
who's
me-
the GIS expert in town? Fiona?
I was gonna say, do you want me to, like,
Yes,
dig
if you-
into this a little
sure,
bit?
if you don't mind.
I probably would start with the planning department and then see. So we're looking specific, first of all, find out who the person is, and then you're looking to try to potentially add things on those maps relative to cemeteries and or
Yeah.
historical markers, et cetera, okay?
Yeah.
I'd wanna sit with Daryl, walk around with Daryl with GPS and verify the locations of the 5 cemeteries. The 4 points on the 5 cemeteries, so we make sure that what I'm presenting is in those boxes. Okay.
Can at least find out who the person is and what the
Yeah,
process is.
perfect.
Looking at it right now.
Now, as far as the
Well,
content
It's a slippery
of my
slope once you start
database,
looking.
I am still I'm the curator, I'm the creator. The beneficiary is the town, okay? We had 5 Eagle Scout projects develop this stuff for me. The beneficiary was the town of Grafton, so basically the town of Grafton owns the database.
Mhm.
I wish the hell somebody else besides me would get into using it, because if something happens to me, you don't have a password, you can't get into it, your emails will not even have it.
Yeah, so it's an Excel database, right?
It's an Excel
Bless you.
database.
And it's just on your computer?
Yes.
Cause I was thinking, along with this last time, what if we were to buy an external hard drive and put the database on the external hard drive so we have first off a backup.
Right.
But then the second thing is this something, I'm gonna ask this question, and I know it's gonna get dirty looks, but is this something that the
Hold on,
town
let
can
me sum
store?
up.
All right, can the town store it on the town servers and let us access it through the town servers? I think I know the answer.
No, I'm trying to find.
It's personally developed, the town may not accept it from me because they have to do their thing with, antivirus and all the other crap before they accept it. Okay?
Well, but if you give them a clean, like we buy an external hard drive and let them scan it, you get the database and you upload it to the external hard drive and let them scan it, then it's clean.
Right.
Like they'll, as far as the town knows, you know.
But it should be a, read-only file. I don't need everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry making changes to it.
No,
Okay.
it would be password protected, but
Yeah.
then at least that way, cause the problem is if it's one database and if it gets corrupted or something happens, it crashes.
Right.
Versus if it's on at least the server.
I'm up on the cloud with it, so I do have cloud backup.
Okay,
Okay, so I can access it wherever I am by whatever computer means I have to get to it.
Right.
My intent was to give it to the library and tell them to put it up as a read-only file in their library system, that anybody that, from Grafton, go to the library and look at the information. Okay, that was my initial original intent, but I wanted them to take, ownership once I gave it to them. They said, who's gonna update it? I said, I am, because if you don't update it, you may as well not even give it to them.
Right.
As new veterans are put in, I add them. So we have, number one, I have a count for how many flags they have, how many markers they have, as far as location of almost 1,900 veterans, okay? We have, all of their records, okay? From the time they entered to the time they left the service, and anything else that's important, like, one guy became a CEO of Washington Mills over here. Okay, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in there that's historical.
Yeah.
That is in all kinds of places, but no other place in one.
Anne Marie, does the select board have access to the town server?
I don't know.
I do, as an employee, so, but I
I
think the
doubt it.
town limits access like they do to the town website,
Mm-hmm.
so
I've never been told that I have access to it, but I'm also not a,
pretend you do and just act.
I wouldn't know where to start to get it. I just asked somebody on the IT committee though, that
Okay.
I was thinking that he would know, so I
I
just
think-
simply,
I think Evan probably knows the answer. Right?
yeah, I just figured he'd
Okay.
get back to me.
Let me ask this one, so if it was all old school paper, all right, all the old minutes are given to the town clerk puts it together and puts it in a box, puts it in the safe.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we were to take this and his information as part of a property of the trustees of Soldier Seal Committee, now it becomes in our box or in our file. Copies of it can be given around, but then, let's say 20 years down the road, you wanna create another plaque or something like that. Now you wanna be able to access that file and add to it. So if this committee owns it, then this committee, whoever it is, can access it and add to it and make those changes. And then, after the changes are made, then they forward the changes again to whoever else has copies of it.
Well, but that's
Am I
what
saying it right?
Yes and no. The problem is the database, it's either on like a hard drive.
Yes.
And it's in somebody's safe and now nobody knows that it's in there. Or you upload it to like the library server
Mm-hmm.
and they make it as a read only,
Mhm.
but then you have to go around, well, who can have access to it to update it? And that's the question that we're trying to figure out now is, ultimately, you don't want it just on an external hard drive. You're gonna want it uploaded onto some server or into the cloud,
So,
but it's the control of it.
so the control belongs to the chairman or vice chair of this committee.
But that means then that we have to have access to their server, and that's what we don't
Yeah.
think we do,
No.
because we don't work for the town.
Correct.
So we're a security risk.
So Daryl, when you go into the vault to do your research, what are the protocols? You go in and you write information down and leave? I mean, you don't take documents with you.
No, you can't take documents out, you actually have to sign, there's like a sign-out sheet if you're gonna remove anything from that vault with the clerk's permission and everything like that. So all my research I do directly in the vault and I go from there.
You just
Yeah.
take notes and
Yep.
Right,
split,
right.
so.
That's basically what I had to do, doing everything for civil law, so.
I mean, I just got a sounds doable from the person on the IT committee.
Okay. Yeah, that's the question, is one, where can we store it? I like the library idea, that makes the most sense. But then two, who can have access to it? And, I mean, it's easy to always point to Bob, but if Bob retires
Right.
and the next person isn't on the committee, now who does it?
Well, that's why I was saying it
So-
belongs to this committee.
Well, actually,
Through the town.
It does, but then will the town give us access to their servers? Like, you can't come in,
All right, hold on, don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they can control access to, you only have access to this thing.
yeah.
So you have a series of historic documents with valuable data and information. And if you voluntarily give it to the town clerks to hold for this committee, I mean, they store our minutes, they store
Yeah.
our agendas,
Mhm.
why can't they store a batch of historic documents? And then anybody can go into the town clerk's.
Right.
I mean, hell, they let Daryl in.
Well, I know, but you're still, it's still the fact of,
You don't need,
Where
you don't
is
need
the-
somebody to hold your hand to go to the clerk's office, you just walk in.
no,
and-
but where is the database stored?
Wherever the clerk,
But is it stored on a town computer?
But I think Andy's talking about the physical documents
The
that he.
physical,
The
the
physical,
physical documents, I got box and box and
To
box
turn
of
it
paper.
into
Yeah.
files,
of
to
paper,
put
okay?
on to put it
Right.
on, the network is, it's all gotta be
Right.
scanned.
no, but he's
Once-
got a
Right.
database. That's the
I've got
point.
the database.
Yeah.
Once I get someone to own this thing for the town, okay, I wanna get rid of, technically, everything I have for paperwork is copies of something that's already,
somewhere.
Stored,
Yeah.
somebody already has. All I've done is put it in one place.
Yeah,
Okay, so technically, I could take all my paperwork and burn it, okay? And tell them, look, this is like in the back of a book, my bibliography, this is where I get all my information. You wanna verify it, go look, okay? Cause I'm not gonna give you 5 cases of papers,
right.
okay? But as far as the database itself, the town owns it, we don't.
Yes.
So the IT vendors came through here recently and gave Bill and I new security protocols, dual authentication. Did you do it too? Yeah. So, and
Everywhere.
I mean, I was teasing the guy, I was, come on, it's TV, what do we need authentication for, you know? And, but the computers are connected to the town network.
Right.
And that's where they're trying to put up the
Yes.
safety measures. So, I think that if we take the database and we send it to the town network, it will be fairly safe. And like Andy says, if it's read-only, I think
Right.
we're good.
I-
But that's,
I-
it can't just be
and-
read-only. Somebody has to be able to go in and update it.
So that's why I just asked, could we access it and add to it over the years, and he said if we do it right, I'm guessing
Right.
about this electronic. He's also talking about privacy and confidentiality, he'd be interested in helping, yada yada, so.
Yeah.
Right.
So the question is, because of the dual authentication, who would be able to access it to update?
Nobody outside the
Right.
town employees or the town government.
And that's where
The
it's
problem
like,
comes in.
Right.
yes,
I will provide once I give this database to the town and they do whatever they wanna do with it, okay, then it becomes read-only, nobody can change it. We have an administrator, I am right now the only administrator, I want a backup, okay? Either someone from the town or somebody from a Boy Scout or somebody that says, hey, I wanna do this and stay with it. It has to be done every time there's a burial, cause you gotta change the database as veterans pass. Okay, so I will provide occasional on a demand from the town. You want it quarterly, you want it annual, you want it semi-annual. But I will give the town an update of names to be added to the database. Okay?
So, I believe the town actually is looking into right now is, creating another position as a veterans grave officer. And I know that's a very early discussion of that, but supposedly, we should have had one of these for quite a while. So, they're looking into it right now, but I have heard some conversations down there with the veterans agent and everything that they are looking to now have a town veteran grave officer here in town. So we're,
just for us?
yes.
That's what I was like. Do other towns have that, like Shrewsbury?
Yes,
also?
apparently they do.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, so, I know they were looking into it, seeing if they could do a regionalized one like
Yeah,
that, like they have with the
yeah.
veterans agent now, but I'm thinking that they're more leaning towards someone in town that would be there to be able to do that.
So
the
I'll do it to you finally.
how?
Or you just, I was gonna say, if you just
Yeah.
Just don't pay.
identify a position in town that will always be their town administrator,
Right.
for example, or
Mhm.
administrative assistant, and that's just your ongoing. So if there's access here with this person, and then there always will be access in that office by person B.
Yeah, and it could be the clerk's office, but now it's, so for me, right, if you were to come into Draper, cause I have dual access, and you were to say, hey, you know that database you stored? I want you to log into your computer, open up that database and let me update it. I'm gonna tell you no. because you're on my login, and if you do anything wrong, it comes back on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that computer security comes in. I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, you also don't want it to be that, well, I volunteer to do it, and the next person, like, they leave, the next person's like, I don't want to. Like, it
Right.
kind of
Yes,
needs to be part of their duties.
Right.
That, like, this is what you do.
And it could just fall into the town clerk, what their job responsibility
Yeah.
is, or whoever you choose, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it breaks down to the the TA, the ATA, and the town clerk, that's it, it doesn't have to go any further than that.
Right. But the veterans grave officer, do y'all have any say over what they do? Because maybe there's an additional job responsibility that gets added, or do I need to talk to Jeff about that?
I would think that would be
I
going
think you
to
have to-
DPW.
Yeah,
or-
you'd have to talk more to Jeff about it, because he's more informed of the situation than I am, but, from what I understand from our conversation was that the Veterans Grave Officer would pretty much be at graveside as a liaison of the town for all veteran burials. As we know, sometimes it's hard to find out if someone's a veteran or not, but, yeah, so I mean, that's one of their duties would be, like I said, a representative from the town at all of these services, and then, I don't know exactly what documentation that they would be doing, but, they are looking to appoint someone to a position like that.
Okay,
Very cool.
I'm sorry.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
think if you're looking at someone in the town to have access or to be able to change it, the TA and the town clerk would be two positions that will never not be there.
Right.
A lot of other positions, you never know, right?
Yeah.
Even ATA, there was a time where they got rid of the ATA, so, and some of these, newer position,
Your board used to be 3 and now it's 5.
yeah.
You could go
But you
back to
figure
3
we're
and
always
2
good.
are out. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
We're always gonna have a town administrator, or town manager, or something in that role, and there's always gonna be a town clerk, so.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? It was a very productive conversation. More
Yeah.
productive than I thought it would be.
Loved it.
Try to be short, huh?
All right. Anything that wasn't on the agenda, Bob? Lucas?
Nothing.
Daryl? Andy?
Can we get copies of the minutes to us sometime before next meeting?
It's here, I guess we got it, we just
Yeah,
didn't see it
It's
before
in
we
your
left.
email.
It's in your email.
It's in my-
Yeah,
None of us
yeah,
did
it's
yet.
already in the
Yeah,
email.
yeah.
I got it. I just didn't see it yet.
I know.
You're too
Here you go.
efficient, too efficient.
I will
Here
just,
you go.
sorry, cause last time, Carmen, was it, he asked about the flag, or
Yes.
the flagpole there, so I did talk to the town administrator, and I believe it's been fixed already, or it's being fixed, or maybe you know more?
Everything's in motion, everything's good to go, don't worry about a thing, we've got,
Just to follow up on
we've got a
that.
local
Great.
business donating for us, we've got all the materials, we're just, I think it's gonna be Wednesday or Thursday of next week, we're gonna get it all completed.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right. All right. Anything else? Anything else, Andy?
Nope.
Sean?
Good.
Next meeting is going to be June 3rd? Or 5th, thank you. I was not gonna do one in May because it was going to be after the Civil War marker ceremony.
Yep.
So, we'll get back to our quarterly rotation with this. If there's anything that comes up, Andy, between now and then, we need to have another meeting, let me know.
As soon as I get the formal, what the invitation's gonna look like, I put on an email, get it, everybody will get your comments on it. But I would like to get it in the mail by April 9. So, I mean, that gives us 3 weeks, basically 3 weeks. It should really have gone in April 1st, but we didn't have this meeting, and I had no way of, commenting on it with the rest of you. So, good, it went a little late, but no later than April 9.
I don't think that we need, well, we can comment on it. We don't have to worry about voting on it.
No.
So we just have to.
No,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Right,
So-
but just for FYI, so everybody sees what we're doing, I don't.
So you're saying April 9th, that's next week.
Yeah, that's Wednesday. That's
So when are
Wednesday.
you meeting him to get this
This
template?
weekend. I told him I would formalize my invitation list tonight, see if there's anybody we had to add to it, okay?
Okay.
And hearing none, no objections to ones that I've come up with here, I will have him, give me the, background, I'll put the wording on it, leave the space blank for the name, handwrite the name, get it in the mail. just wanna be reimbursed for postage, or I
Oh,
can send it
just-
through the town?
Town will take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the town,
Okay, town mail go out every day? I don't wanna sit in needles.
As long as you don't drop it off
Following
on,
Monday,
don't drop it off at Friday at 12 o'clock.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
For envelopes, the town has envelopes that already have the town
Yep.
addresses. Kids, is
Yeah.
there a way we can get some of those and give them to Andy?
If I don't have some, we can get some.
okay. I gotta verify the size of the invitation.
Yeah.
I think it's on a cardboard anyway, so it's
If it's an odd
it's
size.
oh, if it's an
durable.
odd size,
Oh,
you're not,
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta find the size for you so you can get in the envelope. Or I have to have him make it, government letter size or something like that, so we can mail it
Yeah.
without folding.
That'd be the best, 'cause we can get it stuffed and sent out.
Yeah.
They could make it
You wanna talk about the
square.
Zoom?
Yes, yep. The Zoom,
Provisions.
provisions, thank you. That lets us do hybrid or Zoom only meetings was passed for till 2027, I believe.
2027.
Yeah, by the government. So we will be going back to providing Zoom links and having the hybrid meetings going
And-
forward.
I confirmed that we don't need a physical quorum in the room.
Perfect.
oh,
Town clerk
Good, right.
verified.
nice.
That was one of the easy, they eased the rules. That
So
was
if you had
the-
two people here and
So
two
it's
people.
two of us are in the room, everybody
Yeah.
else can be home. Doesn't
Alright.
matter.
I like
Now,
it, so
One
gets me
last
out of the
thing,
house.
I gave Bob two pieces of paper and he put them in his folder. You guys are gonna have to do this, I don't know if you have. Okay, I'm on the board same time you guys, basically.
Ethics
So-
commission.
Yeah, the trustees, that was the other thing I
Yeah,
was gonna bring up.
you'll
conflict of
get
interest.
something from the state to say it's not time you do it, and they'll give you a time limit when it has to
Yeah.
be done, or you cannot participate in this
Yeah,
meetings.
the email's already gone out to everybody. That was
Yeah.
actually the last thing I was gonna bring up was the conflict of interest training.
Yep.
Comes out every year, so just make
But
sure
we
that y'all do it.
shouldn't- Do we have to now that we are not, we were doing it every year because we were 1-year employees? Are we not now multiple years? Is that needed every year? I don't know.
It's still needed every
Is
year.
it?
We do it
Okay.
every, yeah. we
I
do
don't
it
know,
every
just
year.
question.
Every other year is just a little refresher, takes about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that was pretty.
every 2 years, you get a nice hour course.
Yeah,
out
that
of
thing
it.
took me an hour and I couldn't get the
Message.
certificate, I was,
But I
oh,
was like,
doing this
okay.
again, and then 2 days
What-
later I got the mail.
Meeting, or what
Well,
group that I belong to is it for?
All of the committees.
So I did, okay, so I did it.
So you just do it
So
once.
it's
and
just
then-
a- So
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
blanket coverage for
Blanket
everything,
for everything,
okay.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do it as the employee, so I think I'm covered for everything.
Yeah, and I think the due date is end of May.
yeah.
So once you
I
hit
think you didn't email
submit,
yet on that.
who gets it?
You print out the government, the
You
Commonwealth,
didn't
you
get
get a
Yeah.
graduation certificate.
Yeah,
you send to the town clerk.
you gotta go through a course, it's very easy, and.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably similar to every other government training that I have to do. That's
Oh,
just
yeah,
mind numbing and
Yep.
same information, never changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
But
they made in the
but it's
80s.
not dictated down to the town level, it's dictated on the state level, so anybody that takes it for anything in the state,
Right.
it's appointment.
Okay.
So.
Sure though? I mean,
Yeah.
the state's pretty weird.
Awesome.
37 million.
Good.
That was the last thing that I had was the training.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
We don't need a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All right, this
Alrighty.
meeting is adjourned. Man, it's been a while since I had everybody in